But when should the products go in and why? Let's go ahead and cover that.
What you got to understand, shampoo, you're going to go for a cracker. Nice. Shampoo and conditioner technically count as products. A shampoo is designed to remove the free radicals, debris, buildups, oils, and all that other natural gunk off the hair. That's a product. The conditioner is also a product. And a lot of people skip the conditioner. And what you don't understand is the shampoo is not, yes, shampoo is good for you and it will add some nurture to your hair, but its purpose is to cleanse, not to condition.
It's taking more away than it's putting in, right?
You're taking away more and you're leaving the hair nice and raw. And if you don't follow up with the conditioner, now you come back to the chair, your porosity and your elasticity is all over the place. And then you go in and you towel dry. Now, some people, Dave, really go in and scrub the crap out the hair and you're just making a hot mess. They don't pat it dry nicely. So even towel drying the way you do it, wringing the moistures out.
Yep, there could be a whole class on each one of these steps.
There really could be. It's so vital. So then the first thing you should grab, you have to make a decision. Does the scalp need treatment or not? Because if there's a scalp serum that needs to be applied, that needs to make first contact and then needs to absorb to the scalp skin. If the condition of the scalp is okay, then your first point of product contact should be some kind of a detangler, a restructurizer like a protein spray, or a leave-in conditioner to help control the midshaft to the end because the cuticle is tore up. And especially you got to start mending that down, not completely, you're not going to repair it, but you can fix it enough to be able to get a nice brush stroke through on towel dry, damp hair. And everybody talks about 80% dry, 70% dry, 90% dry. There is no app on your phone that you could just scan the hair and be like, oh, boop, 80% dry. So this is what I was taught a long time ago. If you run after you towel blot somebody's hair, you run your hands through their hair. If you draw away enough moisture where you're like, oh, I got to wipe my hand off still, is not towel dry enough. If you towel dry somebody's hair and then you run your hands through their hair and you can feel moisture on your hand, but not enough that you have to wipe it, that's towel dried enough.
Or it's not freaking dripping.
And it's not dripping all over the place. Here's another fun fact. Hair can only hold 2 ounces of moisture at a time. So if you're starting with wet hair that's dripping.
How do you come up with that number? How much hair?
So this is what was told to me a long time ago.
Must be like an average length or something.
No.
What?
In total. You like perms.
Yeah, but more hair's got to be able to hold more water.
Do you like perms?
I do.
Okay. The activator bottles are generally 3-4 ounces.
Yeah, it might.
And they want you to fully saturate all the hair completely. Mm-hmm. That's the instructions, right?
Right.
But on the neutralizer, generally they're 2 ounces, and they say distribute evenly to each rod. They don't say overly saturate everywhere because the hair can only absorb 2 ounces of water overall, or moisture overall.
Interesting.
So it's interesting how that is. And we go through it all the time with perms, but because, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people ain't focusing on perms anymore or on curls or on the foundational base of what hairdressing is. A lot of people forget things. But
so the average head is probably holding about two. That makes sense because that is about how much is in a neutralizer. About 2 ounces of liquid is held. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you get a point after that? It only
point is if the hair is dripping wet, it's like having a cup that's full. How are you going to pour anything else in there? Right. You got to get some of that out to make room for your product to get in there because it shares. Everything's sharing that hydration. Everything's sharing that moisture level. So that's where your first product becomes either a restructurizer like a protein spray, a detangler, or a leave-in conditioner. After that, then you layer on next some kind of serum, some kind of foam mousse, some kind of blowout
cream. I like
cream.
where you're going with that, but let's make some clear lines.
Okay.
You've shampooed, conditioned, you've checked out the scalp. Now you hopefully are towel drying. So the only thing that's going on before towel drying is shampoo, scalp treatments, and possibly conditioner at the bowl. Now your towel drying and you're getting ready to style potentially with a blow dryer. And I know there's from blow drying, assuming you got the towel drying right, from blow drying to dry. Is there a better time to use certain products? Because some of these, so these are styling products. And then I want to make a clear distinction that after the hair's dry, you're going to use some finishing products. And so styling products, are you going to use some when it's still really, really damp right after towel drying, and some in the middle or at the end of this before it's completely dry? Is there a, think about that for just a minute. And then the next step I want to go into is the hair's already dry and you're getting ready to put finishing products like silk, shines, glosses, hairsprays. When are those used in that section of already dry, and you're going to use your flat iron, your curling iron, and you're going to finish it off? Do products go in at the beginning, middle, or end of that process? Because obviously hairsprays usually go in at the very end, but some of the shines and glosses go in somewhere in the beginning or middle. So let's talk about the wet to dry or damp to dry section. When do products go in and why?
So then I guess I would then ask you, what is the intention of the style being desired? Are we going to do a set where it's supposed to last for the full day and then maybe an additional few days? Are we doing a simple blowout where
just pick one and go through it?
It doesn't matter. Okay. So then, yeah, like if you're going to set that hair and you're going to set it up for success where it could potentially last for a few days.
Sure.
And obviously if the client decides to wash their hair the next day, they wash their hair whenever they want. But if we're going to set it up to do it, then yeah, you want to either, if it's a foam mousse or if it's some kind of a volumizing, if it's a root boost spray, a foam mousse, the wet solution, scalp serum or volumizing sculpting lotions,
When does all that go in?
So that should go on. Okay, so you've put your scalp treatment on, then you've put in your leave-in to detangle. You've brushed it all out evenly with a brush, and now the hair is all combed out real nice. Then you put that in. That's when you put that in. You put that in. I put
most of my products in, but it occurred to me that some people may do a bit of there's a lot of words for it. What do you call it? I call it a power dry or removing. Remember we talked about percentages. Yeah. There's no way to really know the percentage, but you're taking out most of the moisture before you ever start using many tools. This is the part of the service that I think we're mostly talking about today that most stylists have lost the art of, and it's why you teach the art of the blow dry or the art of the style, or I forget what's the name of that class?
The art of the blow dry is an ergo sponsored blow drying class. That
so many stylists are kind of cheating and not doing the art part of the blow dry and just getting it dry and then trying to put all their style in with the hot tools later, and they're forgetting all about what the products and the direction and the smoothness you can get from brushes and a blow dryer.